On an unspecified day in the year 1263, or perhaps 1264, a German priest, after a long and arduous journey, arrived at the sanctuary of the Church of St. Christina to say Mass. Tradition later attributed a name, Peter of Prague, to the German priest. Also, according to tradition, Father Peter had undertaken the long and uncomfortable pilgrimage to feel strengthened in the truths of faith that at that moment were undermining his identity as a priest. Among his doubts were his belief, or lack of it, in the real presence of Christ in the Eucharist. In Peter's soul, the memory of the martyr Christina, whose fortitude had not wavered in the face of martyrdom, offered a glimmer of hope. That was why he undertook the long journey to the Church of St. Christina in BOLSENA, Italy. After devoutly venerating the tomb of the saint, he celebrated the Eucharist there. Again, his doubts began to trouble his mind and heart. He prayed intensely to the saint to intercede with God to give him that strength. At the moment of consecration, while he held the host over the chalice, pronouncing the ritual words, the host appeared visibly reddened with blood that dripped copiously, wetting the corporal. The priest lacked the strength to continue the Mass. He was filled with confusion and joy. He wrapped the Eucharistic species in the corporal and went to the sacristy, which is that area behind the altar where the priest prepares Mass. Along the way, however, a few drops of blood also fell on the marble floor and steps of the altar. After recovering from his astonishment, Father Peter accompanied the canons of St. Christina and the witnesses to the bleeding host, and they all went to nearby Orvieto, where Pope Urban IV was temporarily staying. He confessed his doubts to the Pope and asked for forgiveness and absolution. The Supreme Pontiff then sent Giacomo, Bishop of Orvieto, to BOLSENA, accompanied, according to legend, by the theologians Thomas Aquinas and Bonaventure of Bornigorio, to verify the facts and bring the relics to him. At the bridge of Rio Chiaro, now Bridge of the Sun, a meeting took place between the bishop, who was returning from BOLSENA, with the relics of the miracle, and the Pope, who, along with the clergy of Orvieto, the dignitaries of his court, and a large crowd waving olive branches, had gone in procession to meet him. Kneeling down there at the bridge, Pope Urban IV received the host and the blood-soaked linens and brought them, to the emotion and exaltation of all, to the Orvieto Cathedral of Santa Maria, and after showing them to the people, placed them in the shrine. Nothing more was heard of the German priest. Largely because of this miracle, during Urban IV's stay in Orvieto, the solemnity of Corpus Christi was instituted by the pontiff with a papal bull for the Universal Church on September 8, 1264. Thomas Aquinas was entrusted with the task of preparing the officiating and Mass for the new feast, establishing that this should be celebrated on Thursday after the octave of Pentecost. Pope Urban IV was also prompted by this miracle to commission Thomas Aquinas to compose the office of the Mass and the Liturgy of the Hours to celebrate the Most Holy Body of the Lord. There is a wealth of documentation attesting to this miracle that also includes numerous paintings. A famous fresco in the Vatican depicts Pope Urban IV's stay in Orvieto, but it is not directly related to the miracle. The relics, which bear witness to the prodigious events, are the host, the corporal, and the purifiers kept in the chapel of the corporal in the Cathedral of Orvieto. The altar on which the miracle happened is a stupendous artifact from the 8th century, and it is in the vestibule of the Hypogean Basilica of Santa Cristina in BOLSENA, Italy. There are 4 marble slabs, stained with the blood, venerated since 1704, in the new chapel of the miracle, built as a worthy home for the relics that remain in BOLSENA. A 5th marble slab was donated to the church Porciano del Monte in 1574.